So the third principle that Profit First uses that makes it so that it's working with your behavior rather than against it is the idea of removing temptation. So imagine for just a minute playing peekaboo with a little child. So remember, you've got your hands covered over the eyes, and the child thinks you're not there, and then uncover them. Oh, you're there, peekaboo. You cover it up again, and you uncover it. Peekaboo, and it's so amazing that you're there, you're not there, and then you're there. So this whole out of sight, out of mind principle, we're going to use this in Profit First. Because remember, we're going to take our profit and our taxes bank account, and we're going to go and put those at a different bank, a bank that's extremely inconvenient to get to. The more difficult, the better. You don't want it to have online banking. You don't want it to have online bill pay. You don't want it to have to easily be able to transfer the money from it to your main account. You want it to be far away so that it's a pain in the butt to get to. Whatever you can do to make this more difficult, the better you're going to be. And the idea is that you are trying to make it so that the temptation to borrow or steal money from your profit and taxes account, you're trying to limit that. And I speak firsthand from that this works, because I've been tempted a couple of times to borrow from my taxes and my profit account, and my bank is not, I can't access the money online. I can't transfer the money easily. It takes me like 20 to 30 minutes to drive to it. So I'm busy. I don't have time to do that, and I'm a little bit lazy. So by the time I could have made the time to go do it, I've already figured out a different way to do whatever I'm trying to do with, rather than having to take the money from these two accounts here. So let's just remember that example of the conference fee. So let's look at what happens by doing this, by taking the money and putting it in a different bank. Let's look at the thought process behind it and how that changes. So remember, we were trying to figure out how to pay for a $2,000 conference fee. And when we were looking at our expenses account, we only had $1,500 in there, so there wasn't enough to pay for it. So we were either going to have to borrow from our taxes or profit account to get it. So if you have all your bank accounts so that when you log in your bank account and you see them all there, I mean, that tax $2,500 and that profit $2,000 is just like, it's almost like screaming at you, please use me, right? But you don't want to do. So the difference is if you don't have that money there, you're not dumb. You know it's there. You know it's at a different bank, but you're not looking at it on a daily basis. So this whole idea of out of sight, out of mind concept really is a really big benefit of Profit First. So if you wanted to add like one more step, an extra layer of hard to get at, I like to have these two accounts with a financial advisor, and here's the reason why. So I don't know if any of you have ever heard of the concept of tunnel vision, but what that concept is that if you've got a problem you're trying to solve and you're like so close to that problem, you start to get tunnel vision on, okay, I've got this problem and the only way I'm going to be able to solve it is to take money out of my profit and tax account. So tunnel vision, you're not able to kind of open it up and say, well, what are the other possibilities? So the benefit to having this money with a financial advisor is, so you want to do this beforehand. You'll want to tell the financial advisor, when I come to get money out of these accounts and I'm not supposed to, I want you to ask me why. And you can tell him to be as mean, like you set it up beforehand. So you can tell him to be super mean. When I come and ask you for this money and I'm not supposed to have it, like slap me upside the head and say, what do you need that money for? Or you could tell him to be a little bit more gentle. What do you want the money for? But the idea behind it is this. You're in this tunnel vision and they're not, because they're not stressed about the problem like you are. So they're able to kind of open up their mind and maybe help you come up with another solution, which is what you want, because you don't want to take money from your profit account. You don't want to take money from your tax account when you're not supposed to. That's what we're trying to avoid here. So this extra step does actually help out if you have this money with someone that that can kind of be in a way a gatekeeper to getting that money out. So this is the idea behind removing temptation in Profit First.